Master your inner dialogue. Every storm begins inside the mind. Before the world can disturb your peace, your own thoughts must open the door. The Stoics understood this better than anyone. They believed that we are disturbed not by things, but by the views we take of them. What happens in your mind determines how you experience the world around you. If your inner dialogue is filled with negativity, self-doubt, and fear, then even the calmest day will feel like chaos. But if your inner voice is disciplined, balanced, and wise, then even the storm feels manageable. Mastering your inner dialogue is about learning to observe your thoughts instead of obeying them. Most people live as slaves to their thinking. A negative idea appears, and they instantly believe it. A painful memory surfaces, and they relive it as if it's happening again. The Stoic path teaches you to step back, to see your thoughts as clouds passing through the sky of your mind. You are not the storm. You are the... When a toxic thought arises, I'm not good enough, nothing will change, everything is falling apart, the instinct is to fight it. But fighting your thoughts often gives them more power. The Stoic approach is different. Observe, don't resist, simply acknowledge it. There is a thought that says, I'm not enough. Once you recognize it as just a thought, not a truth, it starts to lose its grip. You begin to create space between yourself and your mental noise. This space is where peace begins. It's where you stop reacting and start responding. Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher emperor, practiced this every day. In his private writings, he reminded himself to question his own mind. Is this helping me become better, or is it wasting my energy? By constantly filtering his thoughts, he built a fortress of calm within himself, untouchable by the chaos of the outside world. To master your inner dialogue, you must train it like a muscle. Throughout the day, pause and listen. What are you telling yourself? Are you speaking words of strength or defeat? Replace self-criticism with self-command. Instead of saying, I can't handle this, say, I will handle this with calm. Your mind listens to every word you feed it. Over time, these words shape your reality. Stoic mastery of the mind is not about avoiding emotions, it's about guiding them. You don't silence the inner voice. You teach it to speak with wisdom. You train it to look for perspective instead of panic. When your inner world becomes disciplined, the outer world cannot shake you. So, remember, your thoughts are not facts. They are suggestions, possibilities, whispers from the past, or fears of the future. You decide which ones to accept. When you learn to observe without judgment and respond with reason, you become the master of your mind, and peace becomes your natural state. 2. Control what you can. Suffer more in imagination than in reality. These words carry timeless wisdom. Most of our suffering isn't caused by what's actually happening. It's caused by our endless need. You become a prisoner of outcomes, happy when things go your way, miserable when they don't. But when you focus on what's within, you reclaim your power. You realize that while you can't control what happens, you can always control how you respond. And that's where true strength and freedom live. Imagine this. You're stuck in traffic, running late for something important. You can't move the cars. You can't change the time. But you can control your breath, your attitude, and your thoughts. You can choose to accept the moment, stay calm, and make the best of it. That choice, small as it may seem, is Stoic power in action. Epictetus, another great Stoic philosopher, said, "Make the best use of what is in your power, and take the rest as it happens." This is not about giving up or being passive. It's about focusing your energy wisely. When you stop wasting energy on what you can't change, you gain energy to change what you can. You think clearer, act better, and live calmer. Acceptance doesn't mean approval. It means seeing things as they are, not as you wish they were. It's saying, this is reality. Now how will I deal with it? When you accept reality, you stop fighting with life and start flowing with it. You stop reacting and start responding with intention. In a world full of uncertainty, control becomes an illusion. But calm, that's real. And calm begins when you let go of the need to control everything around you. The Stoics remind us that no one can take away your ability to choose your response. That's your domain, your fortress, your freedom. So whenever life throws something beyond your reach, breathe and remind yourself, this is outside my control, but my peace is not. Focus on your thoughts, your actions, and your attitude, because that's where your true power will always remain. 3. Practice daily detachment. Toxic thoughts thrive on attachment. Attachment to pain, to ego, and to outcomes we can't control. We hold on to what hurt us, replay past mistakes, and cling to expectations of how life should be. This attachment binds the mind in chains of constant anxiety. The Stoics understood this deeply. They didn't preach cold indifference, but a higher kind of freedom, detachment. Detachment in Stoic philosophy doesn't mean you stop caring. It means you care wisely. You can love, strive, and dream, but without becoming a prisoner of the result. As Epictetus said, when you are delighted with anything, remember that it is a thing liable to be taken away. The Stoic doesn't reject joy. He simply remembers its temporary nature. This awareness turns attachment into appreciation. You no longer cling, you cherish. In modern life, our suffering often comes from mental grip, the inability to let go. We hold on to toxic relationships because we fear loneliness. We replay insults because our ego demands validation. We attach our peace to outcomes, a job, a goal, or another person's approval. And when those things change, as they always do, our inner calm collapses. Stoicism invites you to loosen your grip, not to escape life, but to experience it more freely. Every morning, remind yourself, everything is temporary, even this thought. This simple line has the power to dissolve the weight of the mind. Pain fades. Joy shifts. Seasons change. People come and go. When you truly understand impermanence, you stop fighting with life's flow. You stop resisting the natural rhythm of beginnings and endings. You stop expecting permanence from a world built on change. Marcus Aurelius, in his Meditations, often reflected on this truth. He reminded himself that fame, wealth, and even life itself are fleeting. All that you see will soon perish, he wrote. Instead of sadness, this awareness gave him peace. He realized that nothing external can truly be owned, only experienced. That is the essence of Stoic detachment. To practice daily detachment, start small. When a toxic thought appears, don't wrestle with it. Observe it and let it pass. When emotions rise, breathe and remember, this too shall fade. When success comes, be grateful, but don't cling to it. When failure hits, learn, but don't identify with it. Detachment turns every experience into a teacher and every emotion into a passing visitor. Detachment is not coldness, it's clarity. It allows you to stay centered when everything around you changes. It frees you from being controlled by external things, giving you power over your inner world. When you stop attaching your peace to people, outcomes, or possessions, you start to live like a Stoic, calm, steady, and free. You understand that nothing truly belongs. You accept your own mind and your response to life. And in that understanding, you discover a deep, unshakable peace. The peace that comes when you let go. 4. Reframe your perspective. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "The obstacle is the way." These 5 simple words hold the key to Stoic wisdom. They teach us that the things we resist most, The pain, the failure, the loss are not blocks in our path. They are the path. Every challenge is an opportunity to strengthen your character, sharpen your mind, and deepen your peace. What stands in your way can become the very thing that guides you toward growth, if you choose to see it that way. The mind is a powerful storyteller. When life gets hard, it immediately starts asking, "Why me? Why now?" This question traps you in victimhood, feeding resentment and despair. The Stoics offered a better question. What can I learn from this? That single shift in perspective changes everything. It transforms suffering into wisdom and pain into progress. Instead of being crushed by life, you start learning from it. Every negative thought, every difficult person, every setback carries a hidden lesson. But most people never find it because they're too focused on the problem itself. They stare at the obstacle, not realizing it's also a mirror, reflecting their fears, attachments, and expectations. The Stoic way is to use that mirror. When something frustrates you, ask, "What does this reveal about me? My patience? My ego? My expectations?" Suddenly, the problem becomes a teacher, not a tormentor. Seneca said, "Fire tests gold, adversity tests the brave." What he meant was that adversity reveals your true strength. Anyone can stay calm when life is easy, but when you become unshakable. Reframing your perspective doesn't mean ignoring pain or pretending everything is fine. It means looking pain in the eye and saying, "I will use you to grow stronger." This mindset is freedom. When you stop labeling events as good or bad and simply see them as experiences, you free yourself from emotional extremes. A delay becomes patience training. A failure becomes a strategy lesson. A rejection becomes redirection. Life no longer happens to you. It happens for you. Marcus Aurelius practiced this every day as an emperor facing war, betrayal, and illness. Yet he wrote to himself calmly, "If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it. And this you have the power to revoke at any moment." That is the essence of reframing. Realizing that your peace depends not on the world, but on your interpretation of it. The next time you face something difficult, pause and reframe it. Don't ask, "Why is this happening to me?" Instead, ask, "How is this helping me evolve?" That one question turns suffering into strength. When you master this Stoic skill, your mind stops being a battlefield of resistance. It becomes a temple of growth, wisdom, and lasting peace. 5. Build a Stoic routine of peace. Peace is not something you find once and keep forever. It's something you build every single day. Just like strength is built through repetition, peace is built through practice. The Stoics understood that the mind, left untended, becomes restless and chaotic. That's why they created daily habits, rituals of reflection, gratitude, and self-discipline to keep their inner world calm, no matter how turbulent life became. Marcus Aurelius, one of the greatest Stoic philosophers, was also the ruler of Rome. Despite the weight of an empire on his shoulders, he began each morning in quiet reflection. He reminded himself that he would meet selfish, angry, and ungrateful people, but that he must not become like them. This daily awareness prepared him for the day ahead. It wasn't a grand act. It was a simple, intentional moment of grounding. To build a Stoic routine of peace, start your mornings with reflection, not distraction. Don't reach for your phone the moment you wake up. Instead, take a few minutes to breathe and set your intention for the day. Ask yourself, what kind of person do I want to be today? What is within my control? What deserves my energy and what doesn't? This quiet ritual aligns your mind before the world has a chance to pull it apart. Throughout the day, practice mindful pauses. The Stoics valued stillness, not as inaction, but as inner control. When stress hits, step back, take a deep breath, and observe your emotions instead of reacting to them. Even 1 minute of awareness can prevent hours of regret. You begin to realize that peace is not the absence, chaos. It's the ability to remain calm within it. As the day ends, replace comparison with gratitude. The Stoics believed gratitude was a form of wisdom, the ability to see that what you have is already enough. Before you sleep, reflect on 3 things you handled well and 1 thing you can improve tomorrow. Don't judge yourself, guide yourself. This small act turns reflection into progress and self-awareness into peace. Writing is another Stoic tool for inner balance. Marcus Aurelius's Meditations was essentially his private journal, never meant to be published. Through writing, he confronted his fears, corrected his thoughts, and reminded himself of what truly mattered. You can do the same. Write your thoughts, your lessons, and your reminders to stay calm. It's not about perfection, it's about clarity. And whenever possible, walk in silence. Step away from the noise and reconnect with stillness. Let nature remind you how peaceful simplicity can be. As you build these daily Stoic practice, not a life free from storms, but a mind strong enough to remain peaceful through them.